The next comment was about how King was wrong and Dr. G, and I'm with Dr. G. And I was just like, mm-hmm. And so then it presents itself. The interesting, it's an interesting group, subset group of women that really go up for men that mistreat women. Like, y'all are just so interesting. I feel like there need to be more studies, more books about like the psyche behind being a woman that hates other women and like also champions men who abuse women to the point that you probably have high cortisone levels because of some man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you're probably stressed out behind some man, and you're like in the comments like windmilling on behalf of a man that not only would he disrespect you, but he's disrespected both of his paramours, whether it was his ex-wife or his current wife. He disrespected them both. I also feel like the women out there, and this is no disrespect, this is a real conversation I'm having with y'all right now. The women out there that feel like, I'm gonna protect my man. I'm gonna defend my man. Like y'all need to stop. I'm being 100 with I'm being 100 with y'all. Y'all need to stop. I don't know what you think men are for if you think they need you to be a security guard for them. I don't know what's going on. Like I get it. I so get it, but like I'm 36, right? I'll be 37 in a couple of months. And at this age, what I realize now is you have to let men be men, whatever that looks like. You have to let them figure out a lot of shit for themselves. For one, they're not going to listen to you because most of them don't like to listen to women. So they're not going to listen to you. So you can't tell them what to do anyway. The only thing that you can really do a lot of the times is back away and protect yourself because you're a woman. And that's what you should do. Like, hello. So when y'all are like thinking that you as a woman needs to defend a man, I really need to understand what you think men are for, because you have these traditional mindsets on how men are supposed to be and how women are supposed to be. But when it comes to protecting, you don't seem to understand that you have to let them protect you. You have to let them protect you. And if you don't, and I'm talking about when you have one, when you have a man, okay? When you have one. But you have to let them protect you if that's the agreement that you're going to be in. Now, if you have a different situation going on, they have a different situation going on. But please do not try to fit into the confines of what you think a traditional woman and man should be. If you think you should be running up on another man for your man, no. I know that was cute when Tahiri did it. You know what I'm saying? When she snuck Consequence over Joe Button, we all thought that was like, yeah, that was, we was down for that then in that moment. But now that we look back on it, that man was beating her ass. She shouldn't have been fighting nobody for that nigga. She should have let that nigga get his ass whipped because he whipped her ass. You see them, like you see? That's why you can't do it, especially like we're seeing Dr. G being abusive. And I thought about something today. And I guess we could start off with Heavenly, and then I'll go to this TikTok story later. But I was thinking about this as it pertains to, Dr. Damon, because I know she enjoyed seeing all of the people talking about how much Dr. Damon is a real man, And I don't argue with her about that, because the way I recognize strong men to be, that is how he is. You're smart, you take care of your family, you don't overreact to situations, you're not volatile, you come from a stern but protective standpoint a lot of the time, regardless of the fact that he's, extremely misogynistic in some ways, I still feel like Dr. Damon very much presents to me what I view as a good example of a family man and a strong, father and provider, protect. Like, I see it. So I get it. But I think the problem for me, when I really thought about it, is how unhinged Dr. Gregory is. And you were sending your patients to him out of friendship and loyalty. And that's when I had like, because see, that's where the misogyny causes an issue, right? Because think about how many doctors or people, period, will put you in a presence of someone who is harmful out of loyalty and friendship to that person. That shit doesn't put you in the same light anymore. There's not a lot of valor behind, oh yeah, I'm on King's side, when it was this very public fight. But when he dragged Quad and all of those things happen, and we find out this is a man that can be physically violent with a woman, this is a man that is out of control of himself, you still decide that he should be the psychiatrist you send your patients to, because they had a business arrangement. If I'm not wrong, I believe there was a conversation being had between the two of them, because Dr. Damon was sending his patients to Dr. Gregory, even after knowing that he put his hands on Quad. And I think that might be the bigger issue sometimes that we're having a problem with, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, no disrespect. Um, Hold on, let me see. Um, Angela Meyer, thank you for the super chat, girl. You never look bad after me. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, y'all. I appreciate it. Summer D, thank you for another super chat, boo. Happy early anniversary. Thank you. 8 years, child. Brittany Nikki, happy birthday. Come on. Hey, Bondi finally caught alive on my birthday. Hey, Chad, happy birthday, girl. I was trying to see who everybody was saying happy birthday. So happy birthday, girl. Okay. It's your birthday. It's your birthday, girl. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, girl. But yeah, I was just, before we hop into Heavenly's apology, um, I just really wanted to talk about that. Like, I think that's a huge issue that everybody just ignores. And when I was talking about the misogyny and how I really felt like King was acting out of the normal order of things, where a group of men align themselves with the man regardless to whether he's wrong or not, because you got to keep the lie alive and bros before hoes and all of those misogynistic mindsets that men have, and that women know that men have. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely was looking at that situation like, it's important for people to stand up for what's right, especially when it comes to shit like healthcare and those types of things. And I understand, because I can imagine the answer to that would be, well, he's never done anything wrong when it comes to his private practice, or his practice. And I can understand that, and that's fine. But I just still feel like at the end of the day, the greater issue we have in this world is the way people really do ignore the moments when we find out that somebody is unsafe. And because they're our friend or we're close to them, we kind of just turn a blind eye to it. Because we don't want any smoke, all of that shit. But essentially, you know what I'm saying? I was watching it and I did not hear it. I've seen people say that, but I did not hear that. So I don't want to, perpetrate that. I mean, I still believe it. You can tell the types of arguments and fights they've had by the way she responded to him in the moment when they were sitting at the table and she got quiet. And you could tell she's having a battle within herself where She's having to stand up for herself, even though it's uncomfortable, but she knows that she has to, because if she doesn't stand up for herself, he's just going to continue to like pile drive on top of her that this is her fault and throwing this barrage of comments and facial expressions and like it's just an energy that he is throwing her way to make this her fault and to make her feel bad. And I just kind of feel like what we are seeing of this man is that he um it's not my birthday, y'all. My birthday's in a couple of months. It's not my birthday. It's one of the subbies, okay? Brittany Nikki's birthday, not mine. So my anniversary is coming up. But yes, I thought that was interesting when I really thought about it. I was listening to Rodney and I was just like, even though I recognize Dr. Damon and how his image looks, but at the end of the day, what I find often is that men still have a camaraderie with one another over women, that once you find out that this man who is your friend is physically assaulting his wife, nobody actually punishes him. Nobody abhors it. Like nobody actually says anything. You just kind of continue on and you continue to support him as if it doesn't matter. And I think that's very, very interesting. Yeah, I see that people are saying that Dr. G doesn't have good reviews. That doesn't surprise me. I did hear what Funky Dineva said about Heavenly's comments. And I understood where he was coming from. I understood where he was coming from. And I often have had the same sentiments in my mind. Like, first of all, I don't trust people, period. I don't trust women because I've had terrible situations happen with women who are either friends or women I was in romantic relationships with, women who are in my family. Like, regardless, I have had situations happen where I know I am not completely safe around somebody just because they're a woman. No, that's ridiculous. Um, so I don't get upset at him saying that it's not surprising and how gay men live in this world is not wanting to make a big fuss whenever people show themselves for who we already know that they are. Meaning that a lot of gay men already know that a lot of Black women have these homophobic mindsets. And it's just something that you deal with, because if you don't deal with it, you're not going to have anybody around you. And that's the truth. Like, the truth of the matter is, if you were to stop having interactions with family and friends and just anybody, period, that has homophobic ideals, you really wouldn't spend time with a lot of the people that you love. And I'm keeping it a buck. As somebody that does not like, I feel like a lot of people's mentalities and how they think about certain things are a reflection of who they are. I do. Because I feel that way, it is very hard for me to have a lot of people around me, because as soon as I find out that you move a certain way, I don't want to be bothered. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. So I did not agree with, I didn't disagree with what he said. I understood what he said. And I wasn't upset about it. I feel no ways about it. Y'all saw I wasn't even that mad about Heavenly. I'm not surprised. I feel like throughout my life, I have continuously gotten my feelings hurt by Black women I thought I was safe with, all to find out how they still hold homophobic mindsets about things. They still want to other gay people. They still want to look at it as if it's something that's odd or weird or not normal, or that we haven't seen it all over the place, or that most of these men wouldn't fuck other men if they are in prison for extended periods of time. Like, all of the lies that everybody is telling themselves. Like, it's how people are. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So and that y'all, that's across the board. Like, I last year I cut off so many people in my fucking life that I really cared about, because I just can't anymore. I'm just at a point in my life where if you think I'm going to allow you to be near me as you simultaneously purposefully hurt me for whatever reason you're doing it. I don't give a fuck what the psychology is anymore. Whatever the reason is for you to be making me feel like shit, I need for you to get the fuck away from me. I don't care what your reasoning is. I don't want to have a conversation about it. I don't want to relive it. I don't want to rehash. I don't want to come to a Jesus moment. I don't give a fuck. If you make me feel uncomfortable, if you make me feel bad in any type of way about the relationship, I don't want to fuck with you. I don't want to fuck with you. And when I say that, y'all, it's because people really do be playing in your face and then telling you they not. Like, that's why I say that. So I don't trust people to begin with. I don't give a fuck whether you're a woman, a gay man, a straight man. I don't trust people, period. And I absolutely rely on people to be groupthink. I rely on people to do exactly what most people do, which is rely on a stronger personality to dictate what they're going to do and be a fucking follower. It depends on what room I'm in. But I'm usually dependent on people to be exactly who the fuck they are. And I just try to remember, regardless of that, I'm going to be exactly who the fuck I am. And I am not going to act outside of myself because it may or may not be well received by whoever's in the room. I'm going to be Brittany no matter what. And that's just what it is. It's an everyday struggle, my nigga. But I don't know how else to be. So when it comes to people like, Dr. Heavenly and their comments at this point, you just kind of be like, yeah, we know that's how you feel. It's wild. That's why I said, when does the book smarts and the intelligence, that type of shit, like when does that kick in with some of these ideologies that y'all have? Because it's not backed up by any fact. When does the fact and the stats and the studies and what's actually happening, when does that come into play with the shit that people say? I also feel like at some point people need to learn that when you are angry, you are still in control of yourself. And so when you decide to say certain things, it's because you really feel that way. I always, to me, I feel like the real measurement is how people act when they're upset, how people act when they're angry. And then they think their anger is an excuse. I don't find that reasonable. If you act completely out of sorts and out of character because you are angry at something, if you feel like you can say any old thing to me just because you're in your feelings about something, as somebody that has to watch every little thing I say because the shit I say, I don't even know is offending people sometimes. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I'm over it. Right. Or drunk. Like any excuse you come up with, bitch, I don't give a fuck. You said what you said, and that's that on that. But let's listen to what Heavenly said in her apology.
I love y'all. I'm just emotional right now because and again, let me apologize for what I said before. I made a lot of people feel uncomfortable by something I made, and it was mistaken. And I want to say I apologize. It was an ignorant statement I made about being a real man, or whatever. I want to apologize for that again and again. Y'all know, if y'all know me, y'all know I didn't mean anything by it, but it doesn't take away from somebody I might have hurt their feelings. So I will apologize for that again and again and again. I was wrong. That was an ignorant statement. And I recant that whole thing.
It's so funny. She recants it, but I don't know if she really, I don't think she feel no different. I don't. I think it's ingrained. I think some people just refuse to stretch. One of the things that I had to stretch about is the trans conversation. That's something that I had to stretch about. I feel like because if you have one thing, you're one thing. And if you have the other thing, you're the other thing. You can identify and switch that up. But one thing is one thing and the other thing is another thing. And these two things are not the same. Right? Like that's just how I would feel about it. But what I have come to is that I don't give a fuck what anybody calls themselves. If you want to be called a woman, I don't care. You're a woman. If you feel that way, you're a woman. Your perception of what a woman is, you feel that you're a woman, you're a woman. If you feel you're a man, your perception of what a man is, you want to be called a man, you're a man. Do you know why I feel that way? First of all, I don't want nobody arguing with me about how I feel about myself. So it's just really I'm going to treat you how I want to be treated thing, first of all. Second of all, I feel like at the end of the day, it's not going to change the fact that I'm who I am. Like, it's not going to change the fact that I'm on a rag right now. Like, it's not gonna change anything. And I think a lot of women feel like it endangers who they are. And I'm like, it really doesn't. Like, just like Black people can't be erased because we're a dominant gene. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, like, if you're mixed with us, like, eventually, our genes can sometimes be dominant when it comes to how you look. I feel like it's the same thing with women. You can't get rid of what you need in order to be here. We can never be replaced. We can never be replaced. We just can't. We just can't. And individually, as a woman, you cannot be replaced, whoever you are, because you are you. As a man, you are you. You can't be replaced. You might be able to be replaced at a job. You might be able to be replaced in a relationship, but you could never be replaced from who you are as a person. At the end of the day, nobody can step into your body but you. Nobody is making up your shit but you. And what makes us women and what makes us, men, genetically, scientifically, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it doesn't change no matter what anybody says. It doesn't change no matter what anybody says. It doesn't. It doesn't. So I just kind of put it in my mind. I never want to be on the side of bigots. I don't care if I am a Black woman. I don't ever want to be on the side of closed-minded, bigoted, prejudiced people. I just don't. It's just not something I aspire. For other people, that's okay for them. That's fine. It's not okay for me. So I'm going to adopt the mindset that whoever you want to be, your world is your making and my world is my making. And you are entitled to yours as long as it doesn't encroach upon mine. And your identity does not encroach on my identity. Period. Period. So I had to stretch myself in order to come to that. And I'm glad that I did. Nothing, I have this thing about me where it's like, if it feels like it's something that is going to trap me, where I feel so bothered, why do I feel bothered by it? What's happening? Why do I feel bothered by it? And then unwrap that. Because usually when you actually sit with yourself and unwrap the things that bother you about other people, you'll figure out some shit about yourself. Just saying. Just saying. No, because I don't want to ever not be a safe space for anybody. I don't ever want to not be a safe space for anybody, for real. Now, I understand if if I don't like you, if you come to me sideways, I'm not a safe space, bitch. I'm not. But just in general, I don't want somebody to feel like because I'm like this, I would not fit in. You know what I mean? But that's just a deeper conversation. Serena, thank you for the super chat. I'm so glad I finally made another live. I love you, girl. I love you too. Thank you. I appreciate you. So yeah, I feel like, Heavenly feels bad because I don't think Heavenly likes an overwhelming amount of hate when she knows it's something that is dumb. And when you really think about it, you're smart enough to know that what you said is not factual. It's just connected to your biases that you refuse to let go of. And that's fine. So I think that's why she feels bad about it. And because she has actual friends who probably have called her and said, how can you say that about me? Like, we know a lot of gay men that to me show up as men simply for taking care of their own responsibilities, being honest about who they are. I don't know what people think being a man is. I think a lot of times socially when we're talking about, what it means to encompass, the best version of a man, a lot of y'all think of dominating, forceful, y'all don't think of thoughtful, calm, even tempered. Like, you don't think of someone that would have empathy and space for other people. You don't. And I think that's sad. And that's why we really get into a lot of these situations. I don't know what everybody, is hung up on at this point, but I really don't care. Okay. You can feel however you want to feel. If you want to be, biased, prejudiced, homophobic, all of that shit, that's your business. But please understand that says more about you than it does about gay people.